welcome to the show, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, y'all.
E-Lee
Get it, let's get it.
and Uncle Ron.
Let's go.
Keeping it 100, unfiltered. We the radio pundits and we're unfiltered. We gon' give it to you straight. The facts we can debate, but one false move and it's a checkmate. Ay, yes, we the radio pundits and we're unfiltered. Let's go. Yeah. Take that. What up, though, y'all? What up? It's your nephew, Ernest J. Lee, and this is Unfiltered with Ernest J. Lee and Uncle Ron. It's another week, so you know what that means. It's another round of Unfiltered, and what an awesome privilege it is to come into your space from week to week to do what it is that we do. It's truly an amazing opportunity to be able to connect with so many of you in so many different places and countries. God is truly good to us, and we're very appreciative of this great platform. Well, y'all, we got 2 weeks in the books of 2019, and I really pray that you all are starting the year off the right way. Especially if you hit rock bottom last year, then trust me, there is no way to go right now but up. Please believe it. Seasons change, y'all. That's right. The season has got to change. That's just how things work. It can't always be bad. Some good has to come. The universe itself is balanced. That's how God made it. So you can't have bad without also having good. So expect the good out of life in this new year and in this new season. See yourself in the future. See it looking better. See it working out for your good. See it being all that you have prayed for and imagined. See yourself walking in victory and experiencing the life that God has ordained for you. And not only you, but those whom you love, your family. God wants our total man and being to be healed and made whole. Look, you can't be a blessing to others if you yourself isn't functioning at an optimal level. Hurting people hurt people. That's a cliche, but it's true. So get yourself together and reveal all your hurts and pains so that God can heal you where you hurt. So in other words, God cannot heal what you won't reveal. That's why your confession and what you say out of your mouth is so very important. Our words have power, and sometimes we get ourselves in situations and experience unnecessary drama by what we're talking about. Your words truly create your world along with your thoughts. We live in our thoughts, y'all. So as a man thinketh, so is he. That's the Bible. So we got to get them thoughts together in 2019. Keep your signal clean so you can at least give yourself a chance to live a focused and prosperous life. Where there's a will, there's a way. So, you got to get up, get out, and get motivated and actually be the change that you want to see. It really doesn't matter what it looks like, what it seems like, what people have told you it's like, or what the circumstances dictate that it's like. You got to keep believing. So start today, right now. Set small goals, formulate a plan, and use your God-given talents and abilities to walk it out and push on through. Your very life and your increase depends on the works of your hands. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men, but you got to work it. So look, this is week number 3 in 2019. So I charge each of you today to stop right now and write your vision and make it plain. I say this every week for a reason, because I want you to really believe that you and only you are the only thing that is standing in the way of you becoming what it is that you want to be or achieve. It's not about them. It's not about them. It's not about what they did, what they didn't do. It's all about you and what you're going to do. So take ownership of your own life, take inventory, and then change the direction that it's taking. Let's talk more action. You got to get to it. That's how we got to do it in 2019. Let's talk more action. And again, as I said on last week, don't you get sidetracked by those who are off track. You feel it? Don't you get sidetracked by those that are off track and doing what they want to do and making a mess of their life. Don't you get sidetracked by all that. Stay on track for what you got to do and what God told you to do. Just stay in your lane and be great. How about that? Now, anyway, if you missed any of our past shows or you just simply want to connect with us and catch up on past topics that we've covered, there are several ways and avenues to do so. You can go right now and check out our free podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Google Play, Spreaker.com, and of course the iWorship96.com website. You can go to any one of those digital platforms right now and simply search the name Ernest J. Lee Unfiltered and be instantly connected just like that. Please take the time and connect with us, news, y'all. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. Also, please let someone know right now that we're on the air. Let someone know that Unfiltered is on right this second. And let them know how they can join in on the show today. I want everybody to be encouraged and blessed by what we're going to cover today and what we're going to talk about. So go on ahead and let them know how to connect. And if they don't know, show them how you got on and y'all connect. All right? Each one, teach one. Yes, sir. That's old school talk right there. Each one, teach one, baby. Wow, that's classic. All right, now look, on today's show, I want to talk about something that's very serious. I want to talk about the law of attraction. Yes, what are you attracting in your life today? What vibe are you putting out there that keeps attracting the same things, the same drama, and the same people over and over again, year after year, week after week? Look, if you keep finding yourself in the same situations and around the same kinds of people, then the common denominator in that is you. It's not them, it's you. You are the company that you keep. And yes, birds of a feather do flock together. So I'm so sorry to break it to you, because I know some of us like to have something or someone to point the finger at as being the reason for our current state of affairs. But nah, it's you. Listen, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, then it's shame on me. So if I find myself in the same thing, it's me. It's not you. Yup, believe that. That's real talk right there. See, when you go through things and situations in life, we pick up certain habits and ways of thinking along the way. That's just normal. That's life. But what happens to most of us is that we simply don't learn the lesson from the problems that we face. We don't change our approach about how we go about life sometimes. And this alone will cause us to continue to repeat the same mistakes over again. You got to change the way you think, or you're going to keep going through the same thing, especially in relationships, because we feel that we, for the most part, have it all together. So it must be you. It must be the other person, right? Well, again, look, if you keep attracting the same kind of person and people, then it's you. It's the signal that you're emitting out. You control your energy. You control what you put out there and the vibes that people are picking up. You know, that's what you control. And sometimes our aura is damaged. Yes, our aura is damaged. What is aura, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, like the preachers say. The aura has long been described as an electromagnetic energy field that surrounds people. It's like a ball of energy that encompasses your body. You know, your spirit. Your aura consists of 7 levels, layers, auric bodies, also known as the physical, astral, lower, higher, spiritual, intuitional, and absolute planes. I know that's a little deep, but just follow me on this. So in layman's terms, basically, it's your spirit. It's the spirit that you carry. Look, for example, have you ever saw someone walk in the room and the spirit of the room changes? Which can be bad or good, but it changes. Or have you ever heard people say, you light up the room when you walk in? Well, look, that's your aura. That's your energy, your vibe. You know, see, whatever you put out there or however you're feeling can disrupt the flow in your life, for the best or for the worst. See how important that really is? Check this out. What if someone wants to bless you, but you're walking around with a frown on your face because somebody hurt your feelings and somebody didn't speak and somebody stepped on your toe and your shoes too tight and all that kind of stuff, you know, and you just can't let it go? Well, most likely that person is going to keep on walking and they're not going to even approach you because your aura is off. Your spirit is off. Like you deep folks say, your spirit ain't right. Ain't that funny? Because most of their spirits is off too, but oops, you know what? Let me not start on that. Let me stay on track. But yeah, most of their spirits be off too, but you know, they want to say your spirit ain't right. But anyway, you see what I mean. You know, so today we're really going to get into that. What are we and what is it that we are attracting to us today? This is very, very important, y'all. I'm telling you. You know, I always say this show is about progression and elevation. So help me help you. Being a good person is fine, but if you do all that and you still don't change your thinking, then you'll still continue to walk in mediocrity. Trust me. Lifestyle, discipline, and continual learning and evolving is what determines the type of life that you will live. All right, enough of that for now. So go ahead and keep it locked in with us right here today, because it's going to be a wave, y'all. We're going up. Just sit back and radio and chill with us for the next hour. And, of course, you're listening to Unfiltered with Ernest, J. Lee, and Uncle Ron. All right, y'all, I'm getting ready to go get it. I'm starting out first with the big homie Fred Hammond. That's right, we're going to start this party off right with Let Me Praise You Now. Y'all know it. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. That's that Detroit funk right there. This is a classic right here, y'all. Y'all remember? Tell them, Fred.
Destiny. Just a few more steps, just a little, but a night rate. Enemy is in the middle, and swearing, saying, there's no way I will complete it. But I ain't playing, 'cause I know he is defeated. So before fear takes its part, I branded your word in my heart. So never I feel dismayed, I sigh to myself, let me praise you now. Lord, I praise your name because you are who you are. Let me praise you now. Lift you higher every night and day. Let me praise you now. Lord, your word is so true and we know this by far. So we're taking this time to give you all the praise. Let me praise you now. Let me say, rejoice. Make sure the Lord is praised in the battle. Get back up. Oh, if you get knocked off the saddle, heartbreak may come in your life just to be a distraction. But let's trust in the name of the Lord, for His counsel is sure. His joy will help us to endure each and every trial and pain. So before fear takes its part, let's hide the word deep in our heart. And if ever we feel dismayed, just remind yourself, let me praise you. Lord, praise your name because you are who you are. Lift your name above the heavens high. Lord, we glorify you and we know this by far. There's no way we can hide from your all-seeing eyes. Say, yeah, yeah. Let me praise you now. Let me praise you now. Say, we can hide from your all-seeing eyes. Cannot nobody, nobody. Come on, say, give this time. Praise your name is holy, not to be taken light. You, come on. Your works are perfect, marvelous in that sight. When we think of the word, come on, let me praise you right now. Everybody, your works are perfect, marvelous in that sight. Taking this time, all the praise. Your name is holy, not to be taken light. Mountains tremble at the sight of you. Your works are perfect, marvelous in the sight. Taking this time to give you all the praise. Your name is holy, not to be taken light. Mountains tremble at the sight of you. Your works are perfect, marvelous in the sight. Taking this time to give you all the praise.
Yeah, y'all. Listen, I'm going to another classic right here. You might as well go and put your hands together. It's Milton Brunson. My mind's made up. This year, 2019, I got to do it better, y'all. Hey, come on. Y'all remember that? We playing the classics today, y'all. Here we go. Ernest and we're unfiltered. Yo, what's up? We're back live right here on Unfiltered with Ernest, J. Lee, and Uncle Ron. Today's show, we're talking about what is the law of attraction. What are we attracting into our lives, into our space, to come up and take up residence with us? Simply put, the law of attraction has been around for years. It's a universal law. And I know some people think it's a new age and all that kind of stuff, but listen, the law of attraction is real. Whatever you put out comes back. That's just like sowing and reaping. It's universal law. It's not religious at all, actually. The law of attraction is the ability to attract into our lives whatever we're focusing on. It is believed that regardless of age, nationality, or religious belief, that we're all susceptible to the laws which govern the universe, including this one, the law of attraction. The law of attraction uses the power of the mind to translate whatever it is in our thoughts and materialize them into our reality. Basically what I said earlier, just like the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Same thing. Whatever you think, you will materialize. In basic terms, all thoughts turn into things eventually. That's deep if you think about it. All thoughts eventually turn into things. So if you focus on negative doom and gloom, you'll remain under that cloud of gloom and doom. If you focus on positive thoughts and have goals that you aim to achieve, you will find a way to achieve them with action and faith. You know, faith without works is dead. Same thing, the law of attraction. But, it's also a mystery because, again, some people think it's spooky. So, very few people are fully aware of how much of an impact the law of attraction really has on your day-to-day life. We are doing it and don't even know it sometimes. We're doing it knowingly and unknowingly sometimes. Every second of our existence on this earth, we're acting as human magnets. We send out thoughts and emotions, and we attract back what we have put out. It's just like going to the bank. You put money in, you get money out. If you don't put nothing in, you don't get nothing back out. So unfortunately, some of us are blind to the potential that is locked deep inside this thought. And consequently, you leave your thoughts and emotions unchecked. And that sends out the wrong thoughts and attracts more unwanted emotions and events into our lives. Think about it. You got to control your thoughts. You got to get your thought life under control in 2019. And I know some people don't think it's real because they say, well, if that's the case, you could just think and, things change, then, everybody would be doing good. Well, that's true to a certain extent, but this is the thing right here. That's just like going to church even. I mean, just because you go to church don't mean you saved and don't mean you living holy. So, it's something that you have to put in. It's a law that you have to work. It don't just work because it works. You have to actually put the work in to do it. And some of us, we give up so quickly. We don't see it the first time we say it and then we give up. Just like when you give that seed and the next week when it don't come back, I ain't gonna give no more. No, you got to keep watering the ground. You have to keep seed in the ground. The law of attraction is the same thing. You got to continue to let this be a lifestyle, not just something that you do once or twice. You got to really, live this thing. You got to walk it out. The law of attraction can work. What you put out there will come back to you. So start putting out positive. Why not just do the positive anyway? Why settle for putting stuff that's negative out there? We got enough negativity going on around us without putting more negativity out because we can't control our thoughts and our emotions. I mean, how do you know faith is real? Really, faith without works is dead. In other words, you can think and hope all day, but you got to get up and do something. So it's the same thing, y'all. None of this stuff works unless you work it. So even in relationships, if you're looking for love, if you're looking for someone, to be a companion, well, put out love, give love. Listen, love is a choice anyway, and love is a chance too. So you can't always say, well, I put out love and it didn't come back right. Well, love is a chance. You got to pick the right person too. So, you can't get the right love at some of these places we hanging out at. It just don't work that way. And then you can't get love in church sometimes too. Let's just keep it real. Some people think because you go to church and they go to church that it's just going to automatically work. Don't work like that. You got to put in the work. Even with money, you got to attract money, but also you have to do good with the money that you already have. Invest the money. Don't just spend the money. You can't just spend everything you have. Sometimes you got to save it. Sometimes you got to put it in the right investment. This is almost like an extra job. When you're talking about life and how it works, it's like another job. You got to make this stuff work. It won't work unless you work it. So, financial abundance will come, but you got to have the mindset of gaining and attracting wealth and being around people that have money or being around people that know how to get money or being around people that know how to invest money. You can't be on the corner with Pookie and them talking about you about to invest some money. Well, hey, maybe they might be. What do I know? But I'm just saying, like 9 times out of 10, though, they ain't investing on the corner. But I'm just saying, you got to be around people that's doing what you want to do. You can even improve your health and your mental state with this. Health goes goes beyond the physical body. And that's getting into some other things like metaphysical stuff. You know, there's an emotion attached to each of your organs that will emit certain things, and you will attract certain things by being angry, even with your kidneys. You know, look this stuff up. Don't just take my word for it. Look up metaphysical sickness and stuff like that. These are things that work in the universe that we don't hear about because people don't want to get into stuff that don't sound like the King James Version. That's just the truth. So, you know, you can have great health and great emotional health if you put the work in to make sure that you can ensure some health and wealth in your life. You know, workout routines and stuff like that. You know, those things are just a part of it. You got to have a healthy diet. You got to have regular doctor's checkups. You know, all this stuff works together. It's not just one thing. But I tell you what, self-care can help combat a range of mental illnesses. You know, because again, some of the stuff is not as much physical, it is metaphysical. Of course, there's a difference when there's a hereditary sickness. That's a different thing. But I'm talking about just regular sicknesses that we attract to our bodies. You know, similarly to this, mental health can really impact your physical health and well-being as well. So therefore, you should decrease any levels of stress as soon as you can. In addition, the law of attraction focuses on the idea of self-confidence and faith in the universe. And you also need to let go of all feelings of doubt in yourself in order to really fully utilize the law of attraction effectively. The only way to manifest your thoughts into things is to believe. You have to believe in it. You have to believe that you have a purpose. You have to believe that you're just not here to be here. You got to believe that with passion. You got to believe that you've already accomplished the goal. You can't get nothing without action. You got to first believe. Whatever your religious affiliation is, you believe in some thought. That's why we come together week to week, because we believe in one thing. So this is the same point. You got to believe. It starts with faith and then it grows into belief. So vision boards are nice, you know, and that's all kind of stuff that you got it on your wall and you see it. But until you start actually believing and seeing yourself in those things that you have on your vision board, then it's just going to simply be a nice board with pictures on it. Real talk. Listen, y'all, you got to believe. Why keep going through life and don't have nothing? I mean, when you going to get tired of that? All right, I'm going to my next song right here. Yup, you know what it is. Sons of Blackness. I believe. I believe, y'all. 2019. Let's get it. We've been down too long. We got to believe at all costs. Yeah, go on and tell them, choir. I believe. Yes, sir. But listen, I'm gonna keep this train rolling right here. I'm going to Cheryl Fortune. She's a fighter. I'm a fighter. We all fighters. We gonna help each other fight, and we gonna get this battle won, y'all. All right? Let's get it. Unfiltered. Ernest J. Lee and Uncle Ron. Keep it locked, y'all.
I know it's hard, unbearable. I know how you feel. I traveled this same road, and all you want is someone to hear your bleeding heart overflowing with tears. I hear you say that nobody knows, that you contemplate suicide was no joke. Worthless inside, left with no fight. But this can't be all, 'cause you still have life. I'm here to speak hope to you. If I made it, you can make it too. You may feel like life is over. I won't let you go. Together we'll make it through. We're fighters, never gonna give up, never gonna give up. I'll take your hand and you'll take mine. We'll conquer this thing they call life. We're fighters, never gonna give up, never gonna give up. No, I won't let you fight alone. We're confident and we'll stand strong. Better seems far, yeah, we all know the struggle's real, but you can't let go, 'cause you're trusted with this fight you're in. We're champions, we will win. I'm here to speak hope to you. If I made it, you can make it too. You may feel like life is over. I won't let you go. Together we'll make it through. You're never gonna give up. I'll take your hand. We're conquerors. We're conquerors. Yes, we are. Oh, we won't quit. And I'll stand with you. We'll stand strong. On days when life's too much for you, I fight for you. When you get weak, I'll be your strength and I'll fight for you. These are temporary moments. I won't let them take over you. 'Cause victory's calling. Shout with me. Stand with me. Oh, yeah. Yes, we are. I'll take your hand and you'll take mine. We stand our ground. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes. We'll stand strong. We're more than conquerors. We will win.
We the radio pundits and we're unfiltered. Hey, this is Ernest J. Lee. You're back live right here on Unfiltered with Ernest J. Lee and Uncle Ron. We're talking about the law of attracting things and people that we need and want in our lives to make us successful. And look, it starts internally, then it manifests outwardly. So begin to change your thought life, change the way you look at it, change the way you view it, and then become, like she just sang about, a fighter. You got to fight through depression. You got to fight through emotions. You got to fight through bad relationships. You got to fight through sickness. You got to fight through bad jobs. You got to fight through bad kids. You got to fight through bad traffic. You got to fight through life, man. Life is not easy, but it can be victorious if you look at it the right way. So, I've been on this kick with Bishop Jakes. He's been inspiring us from week to week over the last few weeks about different things. And this week is no different. I'm going to play this clip about we have to get it right this time, y'all. It's week number 3 in 2019, and we have to get it right this year, y'all. We got to start somewhere. So why not start right here, right now, doing the right thing? So listen to this clip right here, and I'll be back to close the show. And I'm going to turn it over to Bishop T.D. Jakes right now. Please pay attention to what he's talking about, y'all. This is some powerful, powerful stuff right here. All right, y'all, here we go.
Say things are about to change. I know some of you are scared to say it because you have been taught to wait on God, but I'm breaking that cycle because you're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. Things are about to change. Glory to God. You think I'm just coming to church to be coming to church? I'm coming to church because I expect a change in my life. I expect a change in my life, and not just in my circumstances, but in me. Whatever you need to change in me that's in the way of getting the breakthrough, I release you to change it. I don't want to be in the remedial class in the kingdom of God. I'm ready to accelerate the plan and go into the advanced class. I don't have long. Whatever's going to happen in my life is going to have to happen fast. I can't spend 40 years going through foolishness and stubbornness. I don't have long. I've got to get it right this year. Anybody else got to get it right this year? I got to get it right this year. I got to get it right this year. When I read the text, I was shocked. I was shocked. How could these people be angry with God at the Red Sea? How can you walk past the place God just delivered you and doubt him? It's not just that they doubted, Corey, it's where they doubted. Right in the face of a miracle God had just brought them through, they murmured and complained. These are the same people who danced at the Red Sea. How can dancers turn to doubters? The same people who grabbed tambourines and danced as their greatest enemy was defeated. Pharaoh and 600 chosen chariots had been cast into the Red Sea. And while they were drowning, Miriam was dancing. God had showed himself strong in their life. How can you go from dancing before God to damning the God you danced before? Well, the Bible is clear. He says that they were murmuring and complaining because of the way he brought them. It was tough. The way, it was rugged. It was rough. I need to apologize on behalf of all of the preachers of my era who taught you that if you believe God, everything would be easy. That if you really had faith that this supernatural miracle was going to happen that required no sweat. They created a spiritual welfare system. This name it, claim it, blab it, grab it, go get it, it's yours. Spin around one time, hop on one foot, and you're going to get the new car. They told you about the car, but they didn't tell you about the payments, the way he takes us. Believe God for the house. No, believe God for the payments. You can get the house. It's the payments that's the problem. They complained about the way he took them. It is the way you go. And you don't get to pick the way he takes you. That's what I hate about it. If I could just pick the way he took me, everything would be all right, but I don't get to pick the way he takes me. I don't get to pick who he lets hurt me. I don't get to pick who he lets hurt me. I don't get to pick what I have to suffer. I don't get to pick my cross. I have to take up a cross I didn't pick. I don't like this one. Give me the blue one. I don't like the red one. Give me the yellow one. No, you just get what you got. Why must we go through this way? They murmured and complained against God. It hurts when dancing turns to doubt. When the circumstances that you face have turned you against God. I know they're tough circumstances, but they were walking by the Red Sea. So it's not like God didn't give them evidence of his power to get you through the supernatural. Everybody in here has got at least one miracle you can't explain. One miracle that made no sense. One miracle where God did something in your life that you know that had to be the Lord. There was no way you were supposed to get out of that, but God brought you out of that. Can I get a witness, a real witness in this place? God will let you go through something where none of your tricks and none of your scams and none of your degrees and none of your money and none of your kin people can get you out. And once the enemy's got you all tied up in knots and it looks like you'll never get out, God will cut through all of those ropes and bring you out so that you have a testimony. And he'll leave it in sight to remind you that if it had not been for the Lord that was on your side, you would have been swallowed up. How can God be so good and make such a way, and then we doubt him? Our doubt bites at him. It bites at him. It's a painful thing to be doubted. Your integrity disrespected. It occurred to me that this doubting was not just about God. They had a pathology of doubting. These people had murmured and complained before. They had murmured and complained against Pharaoh. The same people who murmured and complained against Pharaoh that got God to come down and deliver them in the first place now murmur and complain against God. Now I can understand you murmuring and complaining against Pharaoh, because Pharaoh was a slave master. He was abusive and he treated you like dirt. And he made you make bricks without straw. And he didn't feed you, and he didn't care for you, and he didn't love you, and he killed your babies. And then God delivered you from this death-mongering man and brought you out from under his hand and gave you so much more than you ever had. But when you have a pathology of murmuring and complaining, you don't know how to be happy. I mean, these aren't powder puff people saying, oh, you know, the wagon ride was tough. I'm getting a callus on my hips. Oh, you know, the food service was cold. It was late coming. I don't like this. What are you talking about? You were slaves. You were slaves. This has got to be better than that. But what gives us amnesia? That we forget how bad it was before. And we fall back into these patterns, these pathologies of murmuring and complaining. I guess because I've counseled people for 41 years, I am aware that if you have a murmuring individual, they won't be happy till they find something to murmur about. I don't care if you put them in a Taj Mahal, they'll say, you know, it'll take too long for the water to get hot. In these big buildings, you gotta wait too long for the water to get hot. In my old house, as soon as you turn the spigot on, the water got hot. Some people gonna find something to complain about, I don't care what you do. That's why they're driving some of the rest of us crazy, because we need their validation. Have you ever been working hard to please somebody that's never satisfied? Come on, where my real people at? No matter what you do, it's never enough. They look past everything you did and find something wrong. There's a spot on your jacket. And you just want to, well, you know, I'm human, I admit it, I confess. Sometimes when people disrespect your best effort, it makes you angry. When you've done everything you could do for them and they still complain, it makes you angry. Don't make your love so expensive. Oh, that's a tweetable right there. If you make your love too expensive, people eventually give up. They get tired of working to please you and getting nothing but complaints in return. This isn't about God, this is about you. Now, when you complained about Pharaoh, you had a right to complain. But some people, even if God led them, they would hate him too. Sure is hard. You've been working in the hot sun for 400 years. This is a piece of cake compared to that. When you have a pathology of complaining, you are only comfortable when you're unhappy. You have to give yourself permission to be happy. To say, you know what? This is so much better than that. I'm so grateful. Yes, I have to eat the same thing every day. This stuff keeps dropping down from heaven they call manna. It's not exactly seasoned the way I would season it, but I'm gonna make it work for me. Because I know what it is to live in a life where wasn't nothing dropping my way. And now I see something dropping my way. Talk to me, real people. And I have learned that until you become grateful, you will never become victorious. You have to learn how to be grateful for where you are. I'm all for being ambitious. I'm all for being aggressive. But don't let your ambition make you ungrateful. It is when you appreciate where you are that God takes you to the next level. I told a friend of mine the other day, I said, I feel funny giving my testimony sometimes when I tell people about how I came up and how they took my car and how I had to thumb to church and how I pastored over 10 years and didn't have 100 members and how small and tiny my church was and how none of the pews matched and how I was working and pastoring at the same time, working a full-time job and getting off work and going to pastor when I got off work, and they look at me and they feel so sorry for me. But what they don't understand is that when I was living like that and going through that, it didn't look to me like it sounds. Because I was so glad that God had asked me to do anything. I was so excited about that little church. I lit that place up. It was a little storefront and I had a chandelier right in the middle of it. Yes, I did. I was fixing that thing up. Had it all fixed up. Put a wreath on the door at Christmas time. It was rusty, but it was a wreath on the door. Glory to God. Because whatever God gives you, until you appreciate where you're at, you're not going to get the release of what God is about to do in your life. Oh, somebody ought to shout me down on that. Slap your neighbor and say, you got to get grateful. One of the things that God teaches us is how to be grateful when things are not finished. The Bible says that when God was creating the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness covered the face of the deep. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. At the end of it, he said, and it was good. Now, the vegetation hadn't come yet. And the stars hadn't been placed in place yet. And the cows hadn't begun to move yet. And the trees hadn't begun to wave yet. But even though there was still some muddy stuff all around, God said it was good. God is teaching us how to praise him. Even when things aren't finished. Even when everything's not laid out. Even when things are not in place. You got to be able to have small praise breaks. And say, I may not be finished yet, but I thank you for a little change in my life. I know you're waiting on the big testimony that's going to tear the church apart. But you got to give him praise for the little stuff. Little stuff that don't make sense to other people. When you're fighting your way out, you got to get happy because you got your hair done. Well, I got my hair done. Thank you, Jesus. I know it sounds silly to somebody else, but when you've been in a fight, that's a victory for you. You need to claim your victory. There's a pathology of murmuring and complaining. And generally we get it from our parents. It's passed down from the environment we grow up in. If you grow up and are raised in a house with somebody who's unhappy, they teach you to look at life from an unhappy perspective. And even though you hated that when they were there, it's contagious. How many of you, I don't want to put you on the spot, find yourself acting like your parents in a bad way? Certain things that come up in you that nobody taught you this, nobody took you to school like this, but when you get mad, you flip out just like your dead Aunt Helen comes back to life. That's the pathology. That is the pathology that perverts us and causes us to linger in the wilderness of our past because we are still reacting to the way we take in a spirit of bitterness. Number two, when they spoke against God, they spoke against Moses. Generally, when you are bitter, not only are you bitter against God, but you become bitter against God's man. That goes together. You can't hate him and not hate his representative. Why he keeps saying that? Why he keeps saying that? Ain't nothing to him. They murmured and complained. Almost every time you see them murmuring against God, the next verse says they murmured against Moses. Those things are connected. They are connected because the enemy wants you to kill off your help. So when he gets to killing out all the paramedics, then he's going to let you have a wreck. Now you can't call on nobody because you spoke against everybody. Let me tell you, it's hard to get your kids to come to church when you've been talking about the church folk and now Willie's on crack and you need him to come to church, but he doesn't want to come to church because you killed all your help with your mouth. Slap your neighbor and tell him, I'm getting ready to work that thing. That thing you've been laughing at, that thing you've been making fun at, that thing you said would never be nothing, that thing you said would never be anybody. That person, you're like, I'm getting ready to work that thing. I only got 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, but I'm getting ready to work that thing. I only got 1 rock and a rag, but I'm getting ready to work that thing. I only got the jawbone of an ass, but
we're keeping it 100, unfiltered, with the radio pundits and we're unfiltered.
Hey, this is Uncle Ron, one half of the new show Unfiltered. Listen, do you want to advertise or even be featured on one of our shows? Make sure you reach out to us and let us know. Email us at theunfilteredradioshow@gmail.com. Also, if you have any show topics and or questions that you would like for us to tackle, please feel free to let us know. We would love to hear from you. Make sure you keep it locked right here. I holla.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Laurel, co-host of the Unfiltered Show with Ernest, J. Lee, and Uncle Ron. Listen, do you have a new single that you want played on air? Well, send it in and let us check it out. We're now accepting new music for our show. Also, if you have any music requests, send those in as well. Hit us up at the Unfiltered Radio Show at gmail.com. That's the Unfiltered Radio Show at gmail.com. Send us that new fire and let us make some joyful noise for the kingdom, y'all.
With the radio pundits and we're unfiltered. What a powerful, powerful, powerful clip that was. You got to begin to work that thing that's in your spirit. You got to begin to work that thing that's in your heart. Your gift makes room for you, but you got to work the gift. You got to work what God has given you to do and stop complaining. Stop finding fault. Stop hanging around people that ain't going nowhere. Stop hanging around people that's always down and depressed and broke and sad and busted, disgusted. And like they say, can't be trusted. You got to begin to get around those who are doing something. You got to begin to operate in your higher self, operate in your positive self. We got so much negative things around us all the time. We don't need to add to it, y'all. We are powerful manifesting machines. And check this out. We have 50 to 70,000 unconscious thoughts per day, of which about 80% of those are negative. So think about it. If you're already fighting all this negative stuff around you, these negative vibes and negative people and negative things that we hear and watch, then you got to understand that you need to shift toward the positive. It's not a magic wand, but you can have what you say. You got to shift towards the positive. It's not just going to happen. You got to work it, y'all. I know I'm repeating myself, but I want this to stick. You got to know what you're focusing on. Start paying attention to what you focus on. Start paying attention to what you talk about. Start paying attention to the words that you speak. Words have power and they have life. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And when you say something, you cannot get it back. Words are like arrows, and thoughts are the same way. Whatever you think, you will manifest. Remember I said a minute ago, thoughts become things. If you keep that in the forefront of your mind, you will understand that I ain't got time to be thinking negative. I ain't got time to be hanging around negative Nancy and negative Noreen. I ain't got time for all that, man. This is why I laugh a lot. And this is why I'm always happy for the most part, because I don't have time for that. There is so much to do in life. There's so much to achieve. There's so many things that we need to do. And our bodies and our emotions hold all that negative stuff, and it makes us feel bad. And that's why we feel sick, and that's why we get sick, and that's why we always don't have no energy, and that's why we don't want to get up and do something, because we so bogged down with everything else. You got to get moving, get up. Moving is one way to simply relieve stress and negative energy. Just get up and do something. Dance, go for a walk. Get out the house. And as I close, you got to begin to do this. You got to begin to write down the goals. I've been saying for about the last 6 weeks, write the vision, make it plain. Yes, have a vision board, but on the vision board, so it just won't become pictures, visualize yourself. Write it down. See yourself doing this. See yourself making that deal. See yourself shaking hands for that new home. See yourself writing down your signature for that contract. You got to visualize what it will look like when you achieve your dreams and goals. I'm going to say it again. Visualize what it will look like when you achieve your dreams and goals. And if you read them in the morning and practice them, and then the last thing before going to bed at night, take 5 minutes, not just to read it, but take 5 minutes to visualize and connect with the feeling of achieving those dreams and goals. See, that's the thing. You got to visualize, and then you got to connect with it. See, it goes hand in hand. Just like faith without works is dead. All right, y'all, look, this has been a great show today. I really, really hope and pray that you got some out of this show today. It is my endeavor on this show to bring us into a place of more than enough, into a place of thinking better about ourselves, to a place of feeling better about ourselves, to a place of having everything that we want and need. But listen, life is not perfect, but it can be blessed. It can be fun. It can be something that you don't dread in the morning when you get up. But you got to get up today and visualize what it is you want to see. Because look, the law of attraction is real. It's not spooky. It's not fiction. It's not new age. It's real. All right. So look, this is Ernest J. Lee. Uncle Ron was off this week. He'll be back next week, and we'll do it again next week. Same time, same station. And as I always say, look, keep your nose on your face. Don't take no wooden nickels and you'll be all right. I'm Ernest J. Lee. I'm Ernest Lee Sr. and Annie Lee's baby boy. And this has been Unfiltered with Ernest J. Lee and Uncle Ron. I'll holla. Peace.
Along this walk, we've learned that a few trials could come, and many a wind would blow. A few friends would come, and many would finally go. But in the words of our founder, we, the Thomas Whitfield Company, along with family and friends, have learned to say, hallelujah, anyhow, praise God. Anyhow, praise your Jesus. Hallelujah. The storm